Yo, what's up guys? How is everyone doing? Hope you've all had a wonderful day. I've been traveling in and out of central London today. I had to deal with some pretty big annoyances with a phone company, but I did pick up the new BlackBerry Key 2, so that's what's new in my life. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. This is more of a positive video. You can hear it in my voice. I'm feeling good about it right now. This is for the short and mid-term. My long-term look, my super long-term look, let's put it that way, is obviously still bullish. What have I done? Okay. My super long-term, what did I say? Viewpoint, shall I say, is obviously still very bullish. Guys, if you can smash those likes real quick. Still very bullish in the long term, but I recognize that what we could be seeing right now, guys, is a rally up to about the 7,000s, potentially, 6,000, potentially 7,000, and then continuing our way back down, and really potentially playing out this entire downtrend. Now, guys, like I said, my very long-term stance, I do believe we're in a, huge bull flag. If we look at it on the log chart, I mean, falling wedge within an uptrend. And if you guys saw my basic charting patterns video, it is extremely clear that this is just a falling wedge. And of course, we will be carrying our way back up. So, I give respect to a lot of different viewpoints, all right? And as usual, what I say is I present them to you. I tell you what my personal opinion is, and I leave you to make your own decisions, leave you to make your own financial advice. None of this is financial advice, as you already know. And guys, let's just get right into it. I mean, I've gone on for long enough now. We're going to go over to this chart, the Bitfinex chart, and switch to the weekly. And guys, this is probably a bit confusing. Let's take all this off. So, what we're seeing here is, a very, potentially the longest continuous decline we have seen in 2018, and I believe in 2017 as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's the longest we've seen in the past 2 years, pretty much. And that's a pretty big deal. We've had 3 candles going down on the weekly, 1 up, and then, followed by 4 going down once again, and we are completing this final week. We're in Friday now. Of course, the weekly candles close on Sunday UTC midnight. I believe UTC is like 1 hour past UK time. Sorry, 1 hour behind. So it's a very long-term downtrend, and of course, this is what is exhausting people. But guys, it's because of that. I mean, I just feel like because of how long we've been declining, and we don't do this very often, you throw in the fact that we're on a weekly support, we're on a daily support, a lot of these things line up to tell me that we're due for a reversal, alright? Because Bitcoin doesn't stay this low for this long, doesn't stay declining for this long without having some sort of a rally. So whether that means 6,000, whether that means 20,000, I don't know, alright? Obviously, it's not going to be 20,000. I wish it was, but, whether, even if it is 6,000, even if it's 7,000, if we go long, alright, we go long with 15 times leverage, something like that, we have made insane profits, alright, very, very big profits just like that, and you can't be complaining about something pretty amazing like that in terms of profits, in terms of returns. Now guys, we couple this with the future situation. You've heard me talk about this at length. I made a completely separate video. Bitcoin could explode in 48 hours. We've now passed those 48 hours. Obviously, that video, the time frame goes right up until, July, the second week of July. But the main idea is SIBO futures expiring, CME opening in now 3 days, if I'm not mistaken, or 2. And all of these vertical lines are where important, CBOE or CME futures have opened or closed. And so you can see, following these lines, there have always been price reversals. And so I do think we're going to see the same thing happening right here with 2 futures events going down within the space of like 3 days or something. I do think it's highly likely, and that's pretty much my final line of hope for Bitcoin, though, guys. So I was talking to VIP traders in our VIP chat. Shout out to all of you guys. And I said, if this does fail, I just don't think there's any hope for Bitcoin anymore until we see levels like 3,000, like 4,000, because really, I mean, this is the last kind of straw. If it goes on longer than this, then we are talking about a complete exhaustion from traders. And in terms of psychological factors, I mean, you would just expect all traders to drop off the planet with something like that happening, because it's just too much to handle for too long. And so, you know, that's my take on it. You know, we look at the RSI and it is fairly low as well. This doesn't really tell us much, all right? It's near neutral at the moment, but what we are going to be looking for is an RSI potentially dipping into the 30s, like someone brought up in one of the previous streams. And so an RSI at 40 doesn't mean much, but as I said, you know, with such a low RSI, we compare it to the levels it's seen before. I mean, it's never really been this low for, God, like 2 going on 3 years now. And so just because of that, I think we are due for at least a small bounce, of course within our candles, within our prices, but also that is going to be reflected on the RSI. So guys, you know, sentiment is of course the worst when we are at the lowest levels, alright? We already know that when we're going low, people feel like shit, and so they kind of take that out on the community. Whatever they do doesn't really matter. We're here to make profit off them, right? So it's not surprising, it's the classic sheep mentality. You know, it's fashionable to be bearish right now, and whether being bearish is the right thing or not is for you to decide. But the fact that it's fashionable to be as such, you know, if that's the reason that you are actually bearish, I've got no patience for that kind of sentiment. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if because of that we start a bit of a mini uptrend. Like I said, test the high 6,000s, potentially even rage into the 7,000s, and then continue our way down. And guys, of course, it does line up with our future situation. So if it happens within the next 2-3 weeks, we are looking at a pretty clear sort of answer to that futures theory I have had, where prices do reverse and start trending upwards. Now guys, I did call this in VIP. I gave them specific entries, specific leverage numbers, specific stop losses, all of those very specific numbers. A lot of members have been thanking me for those quick profits. I think it's something like 15% now already, and that's just on a trade made today. Yesterday, of course, was more than 50%, so doing pretty well. Now that was a long, and of course, we do give, you know, exit positions all the time. So I've been getting a lot of good feedback as well about that. You know, you get all of my entries, all of my exits, and a lot of people have been telling me, you know, you can make profits, but then you don't know when to take profits, right? You don't know when to lock those in. You have what's called unrealized profits. Those are where you have profits on paper, but you haven't locked them in, all right? So they can vanish if the price goes down. And so I understand that's a crucial thing. And so what I've been doing is giving you regular price updates of where you should be closing certain percentages of your position, you know, using stop losses, using shorts to counter along. So join the free Telegram group in the link below, and you can message me anytime. My username is below every post. So in terms of technical analysis, I mean, that's pretty much me done for today. You know, what I said is we could be ranging a little bit higher. In fact, what I think is quite likely, I also shared this idea in the VIP chat, is that we could just completely go sideways at this level, you know, within the 5800s, within the 5900s, but really not too much more, and go sideways like that for the next week, wait for what happens with CME futures. I think that's definitely a possibility. And of course that would not be nice, but it does follow in with our classic trends. Now, I mean, if we look at this from, you know, a trend perspective, like a rising wedge, what we are setting right now does appear to be a series of higher lows, and so we could be seeing higher highs following through with that. You know, I mean, it could just turn out to be a massive bear flag once again. It's hard to say. We will have to wait for this trend to evolve a little bit more. And all you need is one Bitcoin. Within 10 years, you'll be a millionaire. Guys, if you can start dropping those questions real quick now, I will be getting to those in a second. And so, yeah, that's my take on things right now. Over that, let's go ahead and refresh coin market cap here. Yeah, so, I mean, we're at $12 billion volume. On a day like this, mostly sideways, it doesn't really mean too much. If anything, that's a good sign, because on a day like this, in a consolidation pattern, it's good that we are getting more volume than you would have expected at first. So I do think that is a good sign. Of course, market cap continuing to decline, Bitcoin dominance ascending. So, you know, really, Bitcoin has been staying at much the same price over these past 24 hours. I know it says minus 3% here, but that's because the price drop only happened, you know, 20 hours ago or something. But Bitcoin has been pretty much stable. You can see it on this 4-hour chart. And so the reason we're seeing a dropping market cap but Bitcoin staying at the same levels is because these alts are being liquidated. So guys, you always hear me saying stay away from the alts. If we look at the Bitcoin trading pairs, we can see that they're all down against Bitcoin, and so that means they're not only suffering the USD loss that Bitcoin has, they're also suffering the Bitcoin loss that they have when traded against Bitcoin. So a very bad idea to be in alts right now, like I've been calling continuously. I mean, if you've been in these, you've been suffering really, really bad losses, and I do feel for you. You know, Neo was at like much higher levels yesterday. It must have been like $35 or something. You know, this kind of thing, it's very unfortunate, right? But I mean, it's the market we're in, and if you don't know how to hedge, if you can't hedge, use this as a lesson, all right? It doesn't have to be the last time. Sorry, it doesn't have to be the first time and then a trend of making bad decisions, all right? You make a bad decision and you learn from it. I was in the same place. I've made all those bad decisions. So, you know, that's why I'm preaching this kind of stuff. Now, let's see what else we've got here in terms of questions now. And, yeah, I mean, that's the reason for the rising Bitcoin dominance, like I said. Nice theory. You probably believe in the sixth theory. Haven't heard of it. Smart money buy low. 80% fails, so the 20% becomes rich. Yes, the smart money does buy low. I haven't heard of this 80-20 rule. I mean, I have heard of it, but not in this respect. I think we'll have another bump to 10k and a slow descent to lower lows for probably another year. Yeah, Quinn, do you know what? I genuinely think that's a possibility, alright? I mean, I've been calling 6 and 7k, but that's just because it's within our sights. Of course, I'll be constantly reevaluating the landscape every single day to see what's going to happen. That's the best way to make profits, in my opinion, because you can't really predict the long-term trend. But in terms of just saying it's going to go up to 10k, I mean, 10k is a key level. Even if it goes up to 11.6, I wouldn't be surprised. That would really set the hope up for the entire market, and then when the whales want to come and short it again, it's going to smash that hope down, and that is really what's going to just emotionally rubber band the whole crypto community and send a lot of people away from this market. So I can't see that happening, unfortunately. It's just so brutal. But I mean, that's life, I guess. That's the crypto market we all signed up for. What else have we got? Big money has all the time in the world. They will bleed the market out till 2019. You haven't even felt the pain yet. Well, yeah, I mean, it's possible. I think that's leaning on conspiracy theory kind of things now, but you know, saying that they'll... sorry, I don't know how to put this phone on silent. Like I said, I did get it today. I think that's done now. Let me just close these things. I forgot to close them before stream. But yeah, I mean, a bleed on, you know, a bleed going into 2019, I don't think is going to happen, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, rather. I just don't think it's going to go on for that long, but it's, you know, it's possible. I mean, the last one lasted 2-3 years, so definitely not ruling that out, not at all. So, hey, Dud, you try and compare Bitcoin chart to the .com bubble chart. Did. Yeah, no, I have done it in the past. It lines up nicely. I think it's NASDAQ, right? So let's go ahead and check that out. I believe it's composite. I think they're all the same, actually, but let's go for that anyway. I mean, look at this. This is, you know, look at this growth. You're calling crypto a bubble and you don't even look at that. So yeah, this is 2001. This is the .com bubble. And guys, I mean, look. This is a true bubble pop cycle, alright? So we've seen the Wall Street cheat sheet, market psychology sheet. It does show, you know, you've got the top, you've got the complacency, you've got the capitulation, blah, blah, blah. We already know about that stuff. But the basic idea is, guys, with a bubble pop, to identify it and to trade it, you're going to have the first top, you're going to have the complacency double top, alright? In this case, it wasn't double top, it doesn't have to be. And then you're going to have a massive decline down, and then it's going to be followed by stability. Alright, this is relative stability compared to this parabolic growth, alright? We've already got that. We have already got the relative... Guys, let's go back to the bit. We have already got it. I mean, how do people not see this? Let's go back to the Bitcoin chart. You know, we go to the daily here. And, I mean, look at that. We've had the steep drop already, alright? It hasn't dropped lower than this. So, I just don't think it will continue, you know? I mean... when you compare it to things like the .com bubble burst, it just doesn't look very likely to me. Maybe it does to you, and that's perfectly fine. But, I mean, to me, we've already got that stability, you know? I mean, we're not going up yet, but, I mean, that stability is there. It's undeniable. So, you know, we go back to this NASDAQ chart here. What was it again? Composite? Weekly. And go back to 2001 here. I mean, you know, you can just see it. I mean, the despair and everything like that, and then the disbelief rally, you know, go back to those previous lows, falls down to support, and then rallies up and never sees the same lows ever again. You know, I mean, Bitcoin is accelerating so much faster than NASDAQ. I mean, let's look at how long it took for the double top to finish. So, look at the peak. And that lasted 189 days. Guys, how long did Bitcoin last? You know, to reach its double top and complete that? Let's check that out, alright? So, go to the daily here. So it peaked here. And the double top finished in 23 days. So, let's do a quick math calculation here. Oh, I don't know how to use the calculator on this phone. That's... Is there not a calculator? Wow, okay, no there is. So, 189 divided by 23, and we are going 8.2 times faster than the NASDAQ bubble pop, alright, just looking at this double top. So we can, you know, we can look at it for the whole trend, but of course we don't know where the bottom is yet. Potentially we've already seen the bottom, but we don't know that. You know, if we, yeah, I don't think it's comparing beyond that, to be honest, maybe for another stream, but no, I mean, yeah, I've looked at the bubble pop, I mean the .com bubble burst a little bit, and if we are following that kind of a trend, then we've already seen the worst of it, you know. And that's if we are following any bubble pop trend, by the way. You know, let's forget the percentage drops that you usually see. You know, you usually see 90%, 80% drops, so that would take us down to $2,000 to $4,000. Forget about that, because that's sort of a hard set rule, and that kind of thing isn't adjustable. We're looking at the general chart, the story the chart tells you, and at the moment, from what I'm seeing, the chart is telling us we've got relative stability, which means we're ready to go up. Or maybe we're ready for one final push down and then go up. And it will not be a fast ascension, alright? We just saw the NASDAQ chart, it was a very slow, I mean, those candles we saw were each 1 week, so that was over the period of like 5 years for it to recover, obviously. Look at the monthly chart, there is no stability. Bogdanov, yeah, there isn't on the monthly chart. Definitely not. I mean, we're on the linear chart, so it looks disgusting, right? But we switch over to the logarithmic chart, which I think makes much more sense, because Bitcoin has only seen exponential growth. And, I mean, it doesn't look that bad to me. I mean, you know, it just looks like another falling wedge. That's me. I don't know. It happens every cycle, guys. Yeah. No, it does. I mean, I don't think we're going to see 100,000 by December. I think that's just wishful thinking, unfortunately. I wish we would, but I just don't think we will. I've been into crypto almost a year. Should have got into Bitcoin in 2011 when Bitcoin was only $31. Was going to, because I had a feeling Bitcoin was going to be really big, and a couple of days later. Yeah, a lot of people have missed out on those early opportunities to buy Bitcoin, but that's okay. I mean, if it wasn't meant to be, that's alright. 71% correction so far, yeah, so I mean, we're close to that 80% mark anyway. Bitcoin futures messed up. Yeah, you know, we used to want it so much, and it looks like, I mean, just, you know, if we just look at the dates, it looks like the Bitcoin futures were our demise. So we look at the daily here, and, you know, it's when the first big major institutional futures started, that's when we started going down. So... you know, maybe it was them. And, you know, then we look at every time there's an important futures date, there's a reversal just a few days later. So, no, every time, guys, not just a few times, every time. So I didn't stress that enough, and I don't see why this time would be any different. You know, that's why I said we could be looking at a reversal. It's not. It's hair, not hair. I'm glad I could say this. Like, you see, I think people want me to say here, all right? Because I had to go on Snapchat and ask someone who was online. I was like, yo, can you send me a message saying hair? Because everyone in my comments is telling me I'm saying this wrong. And she said here. So I said, right, that's what they want me to say. But I'm not American, and she's not American either. So I don't know why she was saying it like that. All right, we're both from London, and I think That's how you say hair in London. No, that's how the Queen says it, right? And I like to speak the Queen's English where I can. Where are you from with this hair? Yeah, I'm from London. Guys, the futures have nothing to do with it. Bitcoin was going down anyway. It cannot go up forever. Yeah, no, good point actually. Thank you, Spacebird. Obviously, the growth in 2017, we couldn't see it because we were filled with euphoria, those rose-tinted glasses, I guess you could call them. But, of course, this kind of growth was absolutely unsustainable. But, I mean, you know, bear in mind, let's take any kind of chart like that, and the growth is still looking exactly the same. It's still looking just as unsustainable when we were at $6,000, alright, just as unsustainable when we were at $2,300, and I can go on. Alright, it's always just as unsustainable in terms of how we look at the long-term growth. So yes, it was gonna go down anyway. Alright, it can't go up forever. But that kind of mentality would have meant that you would have sold at the dip that would follow from here. You would have sold it at this dip, alright? And wouldn't that be a shame if you sold at $900? So yeah, of course it was bound to go down, and you know, I just missed it there, but we even had the double top, so everything looks like a bubble, right? Where was it? I want to show that again. I've lost it. Okay, well, I think this was it. Yeah, this was it. So, you know, we even had a double top. I mean, come on, this looks like it could have been the end of Bitcoin. It could have been the bubble pop, all right, but it wasn't. So of course, it can't go up for, you know, forever, but with something like Bitcoin, I don't think that's a healthy approach, because you would have exited so much earlier, and you wouldn't have done well. I hate predictions, then leave. I mean, why are you here? That discussion is meant for a pub. See you there. I don't understand. That kid is 16 years, thinks he's smart, but he's actually doing wrong analysis. Okay, well, how about you tell me how I do it right then? The Queen does not say hair. No, but that's the Queen's English. I mean, that's the concept of it, the way you speak. That's the, you know, that's an aspect of the Queen's English that I've taken on. The growth happens, but so do the corrections. The corrections have been the same. Yeah, definitely. I mean, this kind of a drop, 70, 80, 90% is normal for Bitcoin. There have been tables about it showing how long the bear trends have lasted, how long it's taken for the low, between the low and the next high, those kinds of things, and this is very normal. Four Flies, I bought one Bitcoin when it was $6,700. Is it a bad thing or thing to worry about, or is it okay? I don't know, man. I mean, that's for you to decide. Like I said, I think we're going to go up, and I think we might pass 6,000, I mean, the high 6,000. So if that's true, it's not a bad thing, but if we go lower, then it is. I mean, that's for you to know. I have no way of knowing that. When do you think it's going up? Which level to test? So, but like I mentioned near the start of this stream, I think it's going to... Why is everyone horning right now? I think it's going to take, you know, potentially about a week. Like I said, I think we could see some stability for... That's really fucking annoying now. I think we could see relative stability around this area, you know, within the same $100 region for about a week now. And then potentially have a reversal. Or... sort of my end date, like I said, is 5th of July. I've extended that to mid-July. And so I am waiting for that kind of a point to see, really, I mean, if we have any signs of a reversal by then. And if we don't, that is an issue. Yeah, if you could like and subscribe and smash that bell. Yeah, I love that. Thank you. I mean, 270 viewers. Let's smash those likes real quick. If you're not already subscribed, then you are missing out on good content. I did, Quinn. Actually, I looked at my CCTV, but yeah, that is where my window is. I think we'll go up as well. Yeah, and you know, at least as a relief pump, as a reaction sort of rally, I definitely think it's going to happen. Still, well, dude, am I a fan of Elliott Waves? Yes, I am. I do quite like them. Let's actually see if we can do something. Yeah, no, we can't use Elliott Waves with this trend, actually. Doesn't work. No, but I mean, that's the thing, like, these bots have ruined TA, and things like Elliott waves just don't really apply as much anymore. I think what you mean is hair. Whenever Bitcoin, it's at 57xx, there's a quick bounce always too. I don't know, I mean, are you talking about the previous trend? Let's check that out. Because I think if we drop below 5800 again, then we are going straight down. And I think that's where hope is lost. So that is, of course, around about where I've set my stop loss. VIP members will know. So, dipped into the 57s. Nope, that's not it. Okay, so you're talking about over here. Yeah, okay, I got you. So, yeah, 57s, and then we bounced back. So we could, you know, we could even say... I mean, there's support in this whole area. So this is why people have been calling the mid-5000s. We could even say that 57 is support, but I don't want to do that thing where, you know, we decline to levels and then we say, okay, well, $100 lower is where the real support is. You know, that's just such a typical YouTuber thing to do, and it's pathetic. So I'm not doing that. But yeah, I do think if we breach 5800 again, I mean, that's setting a lower low, and it just, I mean, the downtrend is already confirmed, but it negates any bullish bias you could have, I think. Which TA books do you recommend? I am supposed to link that, but I keep on forgetting. So I'm going to leave a link to that in this video, hopefully. Whiskey, I didn't see your decent questions. I mean, post them again. I guess I missed some of them. But yeah, guys, I mean, with that, I pretty much covered everything I wanted to. I do have to run quickly today. I have been short on time rather. Like I said, I am not using my regular laptop. I've had to get a new one while my other is in repair. And I cannot restore my backup on this laptop. So it's a massive inconvenience. Ichimoku Cloud, please. I mean, I've already shown this in previous streams. It's not relevant yet or at the moment. The Ichi Cloud is quite a ways away. It does line up with this resistance point, but I don't think it's too interesting to look at right now. Do I watch at the sentiment? I haven't heard of that indicator. It looks like the shorts have spiked up, so as usual, that is actually a pretty bullish indicator. So yeah, I mean, thank you for bringing that up. I want to look at the shorts. I mean, there's an issue here. I don't think it's bullish at all. Because, okay, well, yeah, I mean, we've got a big short run up, but shorts are still on the whole quite low, and we compare that to longs, and longs are passing that, you know, literally at that resistance point now, potentially passing it. And so that does mean, you know, with 33,000 longs and, what, 26,000 shorts, that's a difference of like $6,000, sorry, 6,000 contracts or positions, and to me, that's a bearish sign, because it means it's easier to squeeze the longs. But it depends how much volume is behind these 33,000 longs, and we don't know that. Maybe there's a way that I don't know to find out. I'm sure the bots can find out some way if that's not publicly available information. But you know, we look at the shorts and they're much lower than the longs, so it would make sense if we do get a long squeeze here. If it goes down, will 6,400, 6,300 be the next target to consider? If it goes down from here, I don't think we're going to have high targets at all. Yeah, I mean, 54, 53 range will be my next target, but it's not going to be where I think we'll bounce. It's not going to be where I think we're going to, you know, start an uptrend from there. I think if we do breach this level, hope is gone. You know, like I said last time, guys, when we did breach below 5,800, I did say, okay, well, hope is gone for Bitcoin, and that was it. And of course, I do think, you know, testing that low again and then breaking below it will be a very, very bearish sign. And every point after that is just going to be me shorting Bitcoin and then playing the reaction rallies and then shorting it again, all the way down to whatever the low is, whatever the bottom is, and really just accumulating Bitcoin that way and then preparing for the next bull run. And I do think another bull run will be coming. I just don't know when. So I mean, you know, even if this does take a year or 6 months or whatever, that's, you know, that's not a big price to pay, considering it can, you know, you play this right and you can become a millionaire, you know, regardless of what you know, if you've got like $200-300 to start with, you can become a millionaire playing this kind of a thing. Very, very, you know, if you long the bottom, alright, let's say you long at $2,000 and then you play it up to 20,000, and you long with 10x, I mean, that's a massive, I can't even calculate it, but that's a massive profit, you know. If you've got one Bitcoin there, your profit becomes 6 figures. Instead of $18,000, you get $180,000 if you've gone 10x long there at the bottom. And of course, there's no way to know the bottom though, but yeah, I'm just giving you guys an example here. ETF will be the game changer. Yeah, something like that. You know, we get major news of ETFs dropping, something like that, lining up perfectly between these CME and SIBO futures dates, maybe a little bit afterwards, and that sets off the bull run, and we get another piece of very bullish news, like the US suddenly abandons dollars and adopts Bitcoin fully, something like that. Highly unlikely, of course. That would start the bull run. I mean, you know, okay, well, that would end the bear market, put it that way. Whether it would start the bull run, I don't know. What's up, Preston? Apparently GDAX.com no longer gives free charts built into Coinbase Pro. Wow, that's pathetic of them. I mean, just a clear money grab. You know what? That doesn't surprise me if they are going to be acquired by Facebook. That's a Facebook thing to do, isn't it? Nobody leverages for more than a week. Yeah, Driven Muffin, I would never keep a leverage position open for that long anyway. But you get people that do. So, you know, think about it this way. There are people who did short the top at 20k, and they still have their positions open. So they may have only gone short by 2, 3, 4, 5x, but they've made insane profits riding that down. You know, so next target 6,055.5 fib level, then down. Yeah, I can see that happening. Maybe we get a bit of a reaction rally, and you know, go down from there. Definitely possible. But guys, yeah, it has been 32 minutes. Like I said, I am short on time today, so I will be signing off. I hope you have found this stream useful, guys. If you're not already in our Telegram channel, then definitely make sure to check that out. The Berminal link is in the description. I forgot to put that in live yesterday, but if you want to check that out and you didn't get a chance to, definitely hit that up. Telegram, of course, if you're not already in there, you get signals and things like that from me. And if you're not already following me on Twitter, definitely do that as well. Subscribe, like the video, like the stream one last time, and of course, tick that bell if you haven't already. But with that, guys, I hope you have had a good one. Hope you found something useful. Hope you've learned something. And I'm going to be signing off now. Alright, I'm going to finish setting up my BlackBerry now. So, see you guys there.